You are now listening to the Noir Podcast. I'm your host, Chukudi, and with me is my co-host, Chudu. We have a couple of guests on the pod today. Do you mind introducing yourselves?
Hi, I'm Whitney.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
It's nice to have you guys on the pod.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, could you tell the audience a bit of like what you do, what you into?
Whitney first.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Whitney. I'm an accountant, an auditor to be precise, i.e. we check books of financial institutions, consumer institutions, different places basically. I.e. just check their books, make sure nothing fishy is going on. Yeah, so that's what I do.
Okay, then I'm a lawyer. I pretty much specialize in data protection, IP, telecoms, tech, and a bit of fintech now. And media and entertainment sometimes, yeah.
So, like, what took you guys into those spaces? Like, were those your passions, or is it just something like you managed to stumble into? I understand, like, life is hard, so anything that pays the bills as well.
I mean, like, long story,
Okay.
but to cut it short, you know how in secondary school there was science class, there was art class, and then there was like commercial class for people that are doing accounting. So science class was for like the really smart people.
Yeah.
And then art class.
We on the art class.
I know.
10 years down the line, this stigma has still found me.
But like art
this
class
stigma
was for like the not so creative guys.
That's good.
And then commercial class was like in the middle, at the extreme end, at the extreme high, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't. So in my school, what they do is that they look at your grades from just 1 to just 3, and they place you at like on any particular like level.
So they don't even let you like pick. They just tell you.
So
like,
they place you, and then let's say if you're an art student and you say, "No, I want to be a doctor," they will tell you. You have to know what you're signing. You get that kind of thing.
Do you know how crazy it is? Niggas' Jews were died at like 13.
They were homely niggas.
Oh my days.
Real. So I was placed in commercial class, and in my mind I was like, okay, yeah, that means I'm not too smart, but not too chill, right?
Wow.
So I just looked for the best career I could do in commercial class, and in my mind I was like, okay, yeah, I could just be an accountant.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Mine. First thing I told my parents was I wanted to be a superhero as a kid. They didn't take that. Obviously, nobody was going to take that quite seriously.
Saving lives.
They're like, you know what?
Oh my God.
I know how you can save lives, be a lawyer. And I was like, it's not, But anyways, I ended up doing it. And I realized, like, I always gravitated towards, like, the creative side of things. Unfortunately, I didn't have any actual
Creative abilities.
I couldn't really draw. I dabbled in all these things, but I wasn't exceptional at any of them. So I was like, you know what, might as well just do this law, and law is wide enough that it caters to nearly every industry, right? So I was like, you know what, I'll just do something that, find my area of law. It might not be the biggest, might not be the most, the one that pays the most, like oil and gas. And
Those people have money.
but it's close enough to my interests and people I like. I don't know why I really, really like creatives. They're always just cool and so much fun and and they get real with you quite fast. I feel like some other sectors tend to they enjoy the facade that their industry gives them, right? Like, yes, I'm a doctor. Great, I'm getting money, all of that, but these people are crumbling most times. They won't tell you, but creatives will tell you, like, shit, I have not eaten this week.
That's so real.
I'm not eating this week, but by God's grace, there's this one project I have next week that will feed me for 1 month, and then you're like, fair.
True.
Fair
So
enough.
it tends to be more real. So, anyways, I gravitated into that, and I was lucky enough that these spaces were not that saturated. There was so much space for growth. Like where I am right now, I would say like I'm still quite young I just got called in like 2021, COVID set. And the growth I've experienced, I don't think a lot of my peers in, other areas of law would have gotten all that. Because those are more established areas like litigation. Before you get a name in litigation, even to become SAN.
Exactly.
How old do you have to be? Like 40?
Real.
Do you get?
Real.
Meanwhile, as young as I am, I'm getting all these like little panel speaking
Vanny.
things.
I hear that.
Before I get old, I'm trying to retire at 40, guys.
I hear that. No, but that thing you said about creatives, right? Because I have a love-hate relationship with creatives in the sense of part of me is envious, but at the same time, like, I also, like, at times step back and I'm not so envious because, how do I put this? You know how we're talking about people's dreams getting crushed from young?
Right.
Imagine knowing or being told that you had no future in anything creative at, like, the age of 5. So it was primary one, right? It was primary one, and it took us to. They were like, so obviously you're doing all these new like subjects. So they were like, oh, you're doing this thing called fine art, and I was gassed. So they took us to an art studio in the school, and that was the first time like we're leaving class to go and do something.
Right.
So I was proper gassed. So the teacher took us and like a table like this, put a cup, and just said, everybody draw it. Tell me why I was there like maybe like 45 minutes after school ended, still drawing that goddamn cup. He was just there, like every time I would draw, he would be like, this is not good enough. He'd tear my paper and be like, draw it again. Guy, I was crying, like, when my mom came to pick me up, like I was in tears. Like I was having an existential crisis. I was like, everybody could draw the cup but me, mommy, I'm so useless. She don't have to tell me about how like my grandfather couldn't draw, like if he wanted to draw heart, he would draw triangle and shit like that. And I was like, oh, grandpa is useless too.
Real.
So because of that, right, like, and okay, so after that literally is like my oldest trauma. I'm not going to lie to you. So after that, everything else creative in life that I've tried, because in secondary school, for example, okay, let's say like music, a lot of like, I guess the people that would get into music, would have like freestyles in class, like at break or whatever, and like, funny enough, Chidi used to put me on the spot. So what will happen is like he'll be making the beats. So he'll be making the beats.
I used to draw me like spoons.
Yeah, like we'll be using pens and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then after that, it will come to me and all of a sudden I'm a stammerer. I'm like, So because of that, like I was just like, okay, this isn't like my strength.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So when I see someone that's creative, because I genuinely believe to be a creative, you have a special gift from God, in my opinion. Like, there is something wonderful about bringing an idea into fruition, if that makes sense. But at the same time, like, I guess maybe the reason why I'm not so envious as well is the thing you said, which is, guy, some of them don't know when they'll eat. So because of that, I'm just like, everything, life gives, life takes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Balance.
But then there's some that like are bagging it. All these TikTok dancers, like you're just dancing in front of the camera.
But they'll be making money,
Real.
They're making lots of money.
Like so much cash.
Because all these labels, they pay them to like promote the song.
Yes.
So they'll be dancing.
Would you like go on TikTok and start dancing?
I'd rather do that. That's the best thing, but I respect the hustle.
I respect
the hustle,
I
but
respect it because I see niggas like making like dance
Like
videos.
facial expression.
And I'm like,
exactly.
you're probably making money from this shit, but
That's
my
an ick,
pride.
man. My pride.
Man. You not finish dancing tomorrow. You not be like, hello, babe. You don't want to toast one, babe.
Even this podcast we are doing, some babes even think it's an ick already. So
For real.
And that's just us talking.
And that's what, exactly.
Imagine us dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So
There's an ongoing list
Yeah.
of dicks.
Ever growing.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But you really talked about like, how like creatives like you might not eat. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So in choosing your career path, like, was money like a factor for you guys, or was it just like by the side? Was it like a passion thing for you guys when you were choosing your career?
I mean, what can I say? Accountant, money, finance. It sounds interesting, right?
Yeah.
So,
Sounds so creative.
yeah. And then when I did my NYSC, right, I was working in a multinational, i.e., where I got retained, where I'm currently working right now. And when I was in NYSC, I think they were paying me like 120K. Plus the 33K that government will still give. I was a baller.
Yeah, bro.
I was a baller that year. Because like my parents would tell me, I have to get to work by 8 and they're paying them 20K or like 50K. So like it was exciting for me. The money already I was getting was good, and I would start work like 3 times a week and just show up twice. And I was getting paid. I was an intern, so nobody was on my neck. So I was just like, okay, I mean, I can do this long term. But doing that eventually, having real life responsibilities, having workload that you can't stab, you have to show up. Monday to goddamn Friday is a real struggle. The money is still coming in. But it doesn't measure up to the struggles that I face every day. So the money is good, but the struggle is real. Struggle is real. Struggle is real. Struggle is real.
I mean, I already kind of explained how I had to pivot into these areas just because of I guess interest, passion, love for it, right? Love for the game, if you will. But money, I don't know. I always, maybe because I don't know how to say this without sounding anyhow, but I've just always thought that if you're good enough at what you do, right, money will come eventually. And there's also another thing about who you are as a person. There are a lot of opportunities that can come to you just from your personality. I swear to God. Like, you would not believe it. Or even not just your personality, how you present yourself. Especially if you do have a good personality, you know, in terms of who you are and what you do. And how do I put this? Because of all these things, I don't know where I got that mindset from, but because of all these things, I just never had a real fear of not ever having enough to feed myself with. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why or where I got that from, but yeah, it was never a factor that I had to put in my heart. I just always thought that it will come, like it will just come to find me. There's no way out of everybody in this entire
money will not find
me.
There's
no way that to miss
you
to see me and to miss me. I'm sorry.
And there's this thing that my dad always says, that like whatever your hand findeth to do, whatever you see to do, any type of work, be it small, be it big, do it well, do it all your heart, do it all your mind. Like, it can get dirty, it can get messy, but do it well. Just apply yourself to the job, and then you don't know, like money will come eventually.
Exactly, because referrals. If you do it well enough the first time, the person will probably come again. And the person comes again, other people ask, like, who did this for you?
I mean, but the goal is to marry rich. But
this is what I'm waiting for.
The goal is to marry rich, but I want to make my money, vex money.
Real.
Yes. But as well, because obviously, what's the golden rule again? You never ask a woman her age, but we can tell you guys are young.
Pretty young.
Yes. So, because I know, obviously, like, in terms of, like, uncles, aunties, older people in the workspace as well, right? And there's this thing, let me know if you can relate as well, where, like, they come and they're talking about, like, oh, Gen Z, you know, how we are in the workspace. I remember there's one of, like, my family friends, like, I was at her dad's office a while ago. So he was just talking to me. It's like, this Gen Z, all they do is complain, my mental health, and then take holiday. So, like, in terms of that, because obviously when you move from school into the workspace, you're no longer, like, just amongst your peers. It's a very mixed environment.
Right.
So what's that, I guess, generational interaction like on a day-to-day?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's funny, because I'm the first child at home. First out of 6. Now, put that in context with, like, now me being in the office and being, like, one of the Gen Zs, I guess, 97. So. And then now, just imagine now that kinny of, like, because I'm around people that are older than me, people that have, like, you know, seen life in a different era and stuff like that, and my approach to things might not be the same. It's not a thing of them having to be like, you know, this is not this is not how we normally do. This is not how we normally do things here, right?
It's so annoying.
But if you do try these things and it works, guess what? They free it. Like, that's the craziest part. Like, if you try it and it works, like, and then the thing is, just apply sense. right? Don't give the general Gen Z and everything you got it from TikTok. If you can give them like a good balance of new gen, old, like just a moderate balance of it, they'll accept it all. And guess what? They will love you even more for it. Because you come into the thingy and then you're talking about a TikTok and nobody understands that. But guess what? These guys have kids that probably know what you're talking about. They're like, hey, I had my children talking about what's that again? And you're teaching them steez, you're teaching them composure,
all these things.
There was a day my dad came home and said, steez, I wanted to jump out the window. I said, fuck.
Where do you hear that one from?
I was just like, man,
and then
segregate employment.
Real.
No, but like this is what keeps them young, and they need it. Nobody actually wants to age.
Exactly.
So all this complaining about Gen Z, at the end they enjoy us like mad. If we leave, they're back to they're just look at us like, man, this is boring, bro. How were we laughing before these guys came?
Yeah, true.
I have that.
Like I'm the youngest in my team, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like the freshest too. So
Accurate.
I don't say they hate me. They don't hate me, but they don't like my guts. So sometimes
They're jealous.
yes, you can say that. So sometimes you hear my team lead say, "Don't mind these Gen Zs. The only thing they know is fashion." I.e., like I come into work and say like, "Sorry, there was traffic." They say, the only thing you know is fashion. And then later in the day, she'll be asking me, "This your skirt is fine, Sha. Where did you get it from?" You get. You get. So I can say that. At the same time, it's like a mix of generations. Sometimes they'll run to me and they'll tell me, "Oh, Whitney, have you seen this trend on TikTok? Have you seen this trend on Instagram now? The latest?" And then I'm like, "Oh yes, this is what it actually means." Or they'll be asking me, "What does it mean when somebody says you're woke? What does it mean when somebody says this?" I mean, it's cute, right? So I have to explain it to them. And then at the same time, all them as well, when they have to say, "Okay, Whitney, you have to deliver this before this time. You have to do it in this manner. You have to do it this way and nothing less." And then I also have to come to ask them, how do I figure this out? How do I find my bearing? Because sometimes you think you can figure it out on your own, but you just need a little bit of help. You need an assistance. You need that lift. So it's like a mix of both worlds. Like it's fun sometimes, but sometimes it's real.
And you can use like all these little cute stuff like memes and gifs and stuff. Like you say, "Oh, Vanessa, well done. Thank you so much for coming through." And I'm sending you like the heart emoji or like it's cute. I feel like I said, it keeps things fresh.
It is cute.
I think another thing I've noticed with some of my friends that I know that work is a lot of them initially suffer imposter syndrome. So is that something you guys experienced? How, if you did, were you able to, I guess, like get past that? Or is that something you just learned to, I guess, cope with?
So you see that imposter syndrome is a real thing. Like you don't plan for it; it just happens on the job. I worked with this particular manager, and he gave me hell. You know what they call hell? Have you seen Fine Girl going through hell? Hey, God. Hell, real hell. Like whatever I do, he will complain. Like when we're having meetings, he will be saying things like, "This is my problem with you. You don't hear word." Things like that, and I would see how this thing would affect your appraisal. Like you get how they say these things, like to threaten you to sit up. They're telling you to sit up, but they're telling you with like a passive aggressive tone.
That sounds all the way aggressive. I can't.
So sometimes even when I'm breaking my back, putting my back into the job. Initially, when I started, I used to feel like, damn, whatever I do is never enough. Whatever I do at the end of the day is not going to meet their expectations. It's not going to meet their quality at the end of the day, right? And then like at the end of the work, at the end of the job, I had to raise my appraisal, my evaluation. I gave it to him, and then I was already expecting like the worst. Because this guy complained badly, but that was the best appraisal I have gotten in my 3 years of working in that firm. Everything was at next grade. Everything. I even got a differentiator for the work I did. I even got like an exceptional notice for the work I did. And in my mind, I was like, come on. Maybe this bros will say that I was not doing the job properly. It's like, I mean, imposter syndrome is a real thing, but like I said earlier, like whatever you do, just do it with your best. Put your back into what you're doing. But imposter syndrome is real.
See, the thing is, I socialized early. I went to go and do a master's right after undergrad,
Okay.
before even law school. So,
Mhm.
like, I already knew where I was.
Going.
But, you know, firms have a policy of rotating, meaning going to some other teams that you have no idea. Oh, Lord. The first one they sent me to, oh, it was
Real?
it was a lot.
Mm.
It was a lot. And I couldn't not explain that I've already socialized. Already, like, my mind is
On this.
you can't. They don't give a.
They don't
Yeah.
care.
They don't care. So it was not a thing of learning from scratch. Like, imagine having a master's and still feeling kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then you're just rotating for like 3 months. Obviously, there's not as much that you can learn. You can learn a lot, but you can't apply even everything you've learned because you're learning on the job. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt like I experienced the most imposter syndrome. And then I just realized, like, you know what, since I already know where I'm going to go, might as well go and meet that team. Tell them, like, this is me, these are my credentials, these are all the articles I've written on all these different topics I'm interested in, la 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 la. Let me work with you guys while I'm rotating. So I still feel a sense of, I'm still grounded somewhere. I still feel, you know, smart in a way, while I'm feeling stupid in all these
Other ways.
all the other ways. And then I realized that at the end of the day, I mean, that was a team that had the first pick for me. That was the team. So imagine all the other teams still, you know, said they wanted me, but felt so happy like this. I was just like, please.
Somebody wants
Come
me.
here. All of them wanted me. But they, like,
Appreciated you
they
more.
appreciated me the most. And guess what? The work I was doing for them was not graded at any of these sports because I wasn't officially with them, right? Yeah. But yeah, always look for your home.
Yeah, because it's funny because when I used to work like a 9 to 5, right?
You've left us in trenches.
Yeah, I left you guys, man. I couldn't do that P there, but when I was there, I noticed something like people I worked with, they kind of looked down on people that weren't in like the corporate world, right? Because if you did like an unorthodox like kind of job, let's say like you're an artist, you're a photographer, or anything that's not like corporate, they kind of looks down on them. I don't know if that applies to you guys as well. It's not like looking down, but you see them as, because maybe they didn't go to like uni or have a master's or some a PhD. You kind of not appreciate them the same way you appreciate like someone, a 9 to 5 person.
No, not in my workspace. Not that I know of, really. They don't do that in my
It doesn't
workspace.
really apply to us. Just give us the work. Even if there are some people with degrees that are not that, God forgive me, smart. They are not that.
People are learning on the job.
On the job. And then that's what they're getting like all these like external consultants for, to make their work easier, to not have to be the expert in every single thing and all of that. So there's sometimes you're hearing like people say some things on the phone and you're like, ew. But you know, you jump in and be like, you know, what he meant to say was that.
Real.
So if you can experience that with people with degrees and MBAs and all of that, why now look down on people that probably even have more street smart than
And to be fair, like I have some colleagues that would be like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Like I can't do this for 10 years. I can't do this for 15 years. I'll lose myself in the process. I might as well just start like baking or start something like something for themselves, something that they can feel like this is me. Because you can get lost on the job, you can get sad on the job, you can get,
and you don't have time for your hobbies. So many people now are just leaving corporate roles to just go back to what makes them happy.
like sometimes when they ask me, what's your hobby, I'll stop for a minute. I'm like, what are my hobbies for real? That kind of thing.
So do you feel like because of the kind of jobs you guys do right now, it's sort of like consumed you in a sense in terms of it's work and rest, nothing in between?
Jeez. Work, like my life, my parents always complain that my life is like, it's like back and forth. Like it's just, they know where I am at every point in time. If I'm not at work, I'm at my house sleeping. If I'm not sleeping, then I'm back at work. And initially it was hectic for me because I was starting off a career that I didn't have any idea about. What is debit, credit? I did accounting, but I didn't know it, right? That's what I'm saying, that people do this 9 to 5 thing and that they learn on the job. I didn't know anything, and then sometimes I have to leave the house. I have to leave the office 9 p.m., 10 p.m. because I have to mark something prepared before I go home. Like it was rough. It was real. It was office, home, home, office. Sometimes church. Sometimes I miss church because of work. Saturdays, when I say, "Oh, sorry, I can't hang out with my friends. I'm actually at work," they're like, "Work on Saturday?" I was like, "Yes, work on Saturday is a real thing. Like it happens. It's like what you sign up for, but you do not know what I got. That kind of thing. You don't. You're like, I have a job, right? But the job is jobbing you.
Yeah. I agree completely.
I'm going to ask something that might sound like stupid, so forgive me, right? Because before you get employed, cause before I moved back, right, I had a job in the UK when I was, and for me, in my contract, it stated your work hours 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So there were times where like people were gonna try to like push stuff to me that, let's say I'm leaving at 5, then I don't know, one of my coworkers like, oh, can you do this and have it ready by Monday? And I would simply just ask, am I getting paid more? And if the answer was no, I would be like, if it's still there on Monday, I can help you then, but my weekend is my weekend. Now obviously that's over that's
over there.
that's over there.
Over there.
That's what I'm saying. So like
you and that person enter the same trouser.
They finish you that day. HR.
Like, oh.
Is that HR people?
They'll like, just wait.
They will hear about it.
Just wait.
now, because for me, I hate like everyone that I know that works, especially here in Nigeria, talks about how consuming it can get, especially you know, weekends, stuff like that. That's why, how do I put it? It even causes like some frictions in families based on maybe the children don't feel like they're getting enough time with the parents, and you know, parents are, you know, doing whatever. But I think growing up, having seen that, that's where that spirit came from in terms of, for me, I will do my contractual obligation
boundaries.
and nothing more, if that makes sense.
Boundaries, yeah.
Because how do I put it? A lot of my friends that maybe have been in the corporate world for a while now, you know, initially when they got in, they were working hard, blah, blah, blah. And then like 2 years in, no promotion, you know, barely any. So I'm just like, what really is the reason other than, well done, no, keep going.
Keep going.
I don't know.
It's something like my boss always says, you don't have to work really hard, you just have to work really smart.
I agree.
Like, I can have a million things to do, but I know what he's going to ask about when we're on the meeting, so I just brush that up and do that. And then I still have like 990 something things I haven't done. But then when he asks me, how about this particular going concern, whatever assessment, I'm like, oh yeah, I've actually done it. And then I sound really smart, right? But God knows that I have a ton of work to do at the back. So it's just about working smart. Not really working hard.
I completely agree. And people need to learn how to delegate more. I know it's not the easiest thing to do because some people can be incompetent, or they might just not understand what exactly you want, right? But I swear, if you want to find a bit more time, it's either you find a way to explain in detail and just tell this person, like, I'm available for questions. So that as they take their time to do that thing, you even give them like a timeline to come back and everything. Give them your phone number. If you have questions, just call me. Don't leave a comment on the document like, oh, I wasn't sure about this. I just text me, call me, right? And if you delegate, you find time for other things that probably even worth your time, worth your real time. Like with law firms, right? They expect us to do a lot of articles, you know, kind of thought leadership, explain to people and it brings a lot of work to the firm because a lot of people around the world sign up to like Mondac, Lexology, all these other things, and then they read from different continents and jurisdictions, and they're like, okay, these people are writing about this, they should surely know about this. If we have a brief, we're bringing it to them, right? But writing articles requires time to research. It means you have to have time to actually go through, make sure like it applies, go through your laws, all of that. So if you're going to do that and you have a legal opinion due, a due diligence due, like report due, you have like to do like so many other things that are build work. and you want to now go and start doing research in the night with sleep in your eyes, you're tired, you do rubbish and you might have to start again. So you might as well delegate. You always have, thank God for NYSCs. Because shout out to y'all for real. I was there before, so shout out to us for real. Those are the guys that, because their workload can only go so far. Whatever they're going to do is going to be reviewed by you, right? So always just start, as much as you can, give them the groundwork. You're probably already doing something already, right? Just start from there. And by the time it gets to your turn, you are reviewing it, and it cannot pass unless they are mumus, right? Your review work cannot be more than what it would have been to start from the beginning, right? And focus on collaboration, focus on teamwork. There's teams, you can work on a document together at the same time. Work smart, like she said, work smart, not hard. Working hard comes anyways, but working smart is such a skill that not enough people appreciate for me. And also have friends that prioritize seeing you. Lots of us don't know how to call or text our friends. I don't know if that's, maybe I'm just talking for myself, but I don't know how to call or text my friends. I suck at it. So a lot of my friends demand that I see them. So they say, Vanessa, we need to go out and eat and talk. Tell me how things are going on with you, all of that. And so if they've set a date and it's in my calendar, that day I'm probably working. I have to find a way to finish everything. So there's no time to play or any of that. I know what is at stake. You can't cancel your friends how many times? They won't be there forever. And it's not the day that you hear, oh, this person was in an accident. Now you start rethinking all the time. That's a big fear of mine, right? Life is too short for that. It's not these deliverables and opinions and all of that. That's not what they're going to bring on your. Nobody. These guys are not going to write on your funeral thing and be like, she was so fast.
She worked too hard.
Do you get? It's your friends that love you.
But we've been talking about basically being consumed by your work, right? And not being able to have time for your friends and so how do you guys have a life outside your work? Do you guys go out? Do you guys go clubbing? Do you guys actually take vacations? Do you go on holidays? Or are you just, because my neighbor, for example, she works in a law firm and it's a big law firm, whatever. She comes home by 12 a.m. almost every day.
Damn.
And I ask her, she's like me, she doesn't have any time for herself. But she said the money is good. That's all she always says, that the money is good. But I'm like, okay, the money is good. You're not even spending the money on yourself. So what's the point of the money?
See, let me tell you something that will surprise you. Hey, God. They are really grown-up managers, senior managers. In fact, let me call them directors in my office, right? They are in their 30s, mid-30s, let's say late 30s. They're not married. They're females. They're not married. They don't have love lives. They're just always taunting you. Hi, Whitney. How far with this thing I asked you to do since morning? That's what they're always doing from morning to night. They're just still with you. They don't have any man.
They don't have any life.
They're doing.
I'm dead. Don't kill me.
And that's because if you let the work overwhelm you, you'll be overwhelmed. Me recently, even my dad was saying it that you have to take your leave in May or take your leave in May. I don't like the way you've been working. My daddy hates my job.
Really?
My dad is all these Igbo men that believe that your wife should be at home in the kitchen. Your wife should not have to.
Say what you all said.
You understand? Your wife don't have to. Your wife should not go through the turmoils of life. Your wife should just be chilling. That's how my father is. He hates my job. He hates the fact that I go out in the morning and I come back when it's dark. He hates it. So it was different that my father was like, you need to take a break. You should go on leave. When I was even booking my leave, I booked my leave for 1 month. They told me I can't take 1 month. I have to take 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Because of the amount of engagements and jobs we have to do. Crazy. But you just have to find that time. Like me, I always tell my friends at work that if you need to cry, close your laptop and cry. Me, I used to have cry breaks. They'll finish out in the office. Whitney, I need this by 12.
Necessary.
I'll say, okay, no problem. I'll go to the toilet. Weep for 10 minutes. Come out, do my mascara, powder my face, go back to my laptop, press my laptop and get it done.
Real.
If you need to cry, cry. If you need to weep. But if you also need to breathe.
Yeah.
The other day, aside my leave, when I always tell them that I can't come to work on Saturday, I have a wedding I'm going for. They'll be like, if this job drags, it drags because of you. I say, it can't drag because of me. And I'll go for the wedding. And after I go for training, I'll come back and I'll do what I have to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's called discipline, right?
Right.
You don't have to do it at the time they want you to do it. But
Right.
when you're finished enjoying yourself, right?
Yeah,
Even if
still
it
come
means
and
you
do
have to walk 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. to get
Yeah.
it done, you get it done.
Yeah.
That's what I do, really.
Yeah.
But that work-life balance, it doesn't balance. But you have to find time for yourself,
Yeah.
like while you go through it.
But it's so interesting because there was one of my friends, she's moved from Nigeria now, but she was working here, corporate as well, and let's say she's at work, because funny thing is, in Nigeria, I don't feel, the 9 to 5 is a myth. I feel like it's like 8 to 7, really, if we're being honest. So,
8 to 8.
Counting traffic, going to work.
guy,
Just
So-
6:30.
exactly, exactly. But she would be at work, let's just say, she gets to work, let's say like 8, she would get off 7, 8. And basically, there was a period, let's say every other day, she was still at the club. So she would get home by like 1 a.m. and do it all again the next day. And I found that very fascinating because, one, surely that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a very big, I need my sleep.
Yeah.
Like, if anything that brings me less than 7 hours of sleep, I will not involve myself in it.
For real?
I can't, I know how I
you work.
function and how I
Yeah.
work. So, if I go to bed, let's say at like 1, and I have to be up to start getting ready to go to the office by 5, 6 or whatever, that's like 4 hours of sleep. I'll go to the office and sleep. Like, it has to be.
That's if you even make it to the
that-
office.
that's if I even.
People sleep on
the wheel.
On the
Yeah.
wheel.
So, for me, I think it's just. I think what I've learned from people is you have to be very intentional about what you want in
Yeah.
that regard, because it's very easy, especially with how things are, to just get consumed in work or whatever it is you're doing, but you also have to be intentional about the other aspects of your
Yeah.
life. But there was something you brought up which I also want to go to, which is you have managers mid-30s, not married, no love life, all of that. So since you guys have started working, have your love lives been?
Whitney, go.
So I fell in love on the job.
Oh,
So I was,
you-
yes,
yeah.
I fell in love on
Are
the
you
job.
serious?
Yeah, I was doing NYSC and he was my manager and he used to like, boss me around like, Whitney, you have to get this done by 1, okay? And if I don't get it done by 1, he used to like escalate. So one time he just like called me and was like, Whitney, it's not cool the fact that you don't get this done. Because you know NYSC, you don't really take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I did not know that I was causing you this much stress. I would put my back into the job. And then we just started talking from there. We watched Stranger Things, talk about Stranger Things. You know, we went out on a date, went to the city. So I fell in love, like, at work. I fell in love at work. So I think I'm lucky.
So would you like advise people to to date people at work? Because I always hear people say you shouldn't date
She
at work.
just said no.
Don't date at work.
Really?
Why?
Don't
She
date
said
at
I'm the
work.
exception, not the rule.
Yeah, actually.
I'm just the, what they call it?
Exception.
The exception, not
Exception.
the
But
rule.
don't date at work. It's not advisable. Like, it's not advisable.
I don't understand. Why are you so against it?
Girl.
You found
But you found your own love now, so other guys can find theirs. as well.
exactly.
Or you don't think?
I don't think cool.
You know, funny,
Dating on the job.
for me, like, I'm too, what's the word? Like, every time I'm in a workspace, it's like there's a switch in my head. Like, I can't see anybody as attractive. Like,
That was couple.
no, for real, I can't. No, for real, like, for me, like, if I see outside work, or if we see outside work, I'll be like, oh, like, it already.
Fair,
But
fair.
while we're in the office, like, I
Yeah.
can't, if that makes sense. I think it's the stress as well. Like, I'm more irritated, if anything. So I don't have time to be
I get.
deep in who is fine and who isn't.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I don't know. Me, I like men that are really smart. So I met my boyfriend even talking about like, so before we told him tax payables, we have to like he was doing a whole ass presentation, pointing at the board, pressing remote. You press remote, the slide will change. I was fascinated. You know, I was fascinated. Reading boards, reading like, who is this man?
You understand?
I know. Instantly,
Fair enough.
immediately.
Fair enough.
I don't know, like workmen, they're professional, they're good, but I wouldn't really advise you to dabble into work, like.
Do you know?
Cause see finish is a real thing.
It's not even like see finish, and God forbid what I'm about to say happens to you. But imagine like you guys break up, man. I have to see the person at the office next Monday. Like it's bad. Like imagine like God forbid like you're dating somebody at work, right? And you guys are living together, blah blah blah. You come home, let's say Sunday evening from whatever, and you see them in you people shared house cheating on you. So and you have to go on Monday and still like, and you can't be the person. You can't be the person that it's not like you can see them and beat them. Or like you have to go and pretend like you people are normal.
In that situation, you just have to pray. You're the supervisor of that person. The person is your supervisor. You can't do jack.
It's actually a lot. And then immediately I started dating my boyfriend. He had to leave the firm like 4 months after. So like I started dating him and he just left immediately. I was like, oh thank God. Because having to be in the same workspace is a lot. I just wouldn't advise it for anybody.
They really shout at you and then the person is just hearing your gist.
Exactly.
Like bro, they're finishing your babe downstairs.
But the problem is like for most people that work in 9 to 5, for example, most of your life is at work. So most of the people you're going to see in a week are your colleagues or everything. So that's how most relationships form, I guess. So it makes sense, but at the same time, for me, I wouldn't do it because I don't want to say why, but it just
say why? No, you have to say why. Because
at the stage of my life I'm in right now, I'm not a committed person, right? Okay. So the chances of me actually being in a relationship with the person is low. So when I just have fun, but I'll get tired. Then when I'm tired,
what if the love has hit you and you not facing road?
Let me tell you something. Men are very stubborn creatures.
Exactly.
Like
they'll fight it.
Guy, you know what's the name of in the Bible, Jonathan's dad, they told him name your child this thing. He said no. They had to blind him and deaf him and dumb him. Before he finally agreed. No matter what, like we're very stubborn people. If we're like, this is what we're going to do, no matter how amazing the person is, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Usually.
To be honest, I think it's kind of boring to even date someone in your office because
it's nice. The diversity is nice. You
just said we shouldn't do this thing. I don't understand.
And then we pinch
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
Make up your mind. You just said we should not. So
not. Why is it?
She don't show
you be in the same office. Somebody will be texting you, you look beautiful. And the person is just in front of you.
I hear it.
No, I hear it.
It's exciting. Do you understand? Really exciting. I can't lie.
Well, if they catch you people, what happens?
I think that's more fun if you guys are actually not dating. It's more of like a vibes thing.
Like work husband.
Work husband kind
work
of thing.
husband, work wife kind of thing.
I feel like a relationship is more serious.
Okay.
I guess
have you guys had work husbands?
No.
Why are you coughing? You coughed before you answered that question.
No.
You know I work husband before.
No, I wouldn't call them work husbands. I just have guy friends that like we know each other quite well. So the gist thing, like if you find babe or a client comes to the thingy and then I can see their eyes roaming about but not husband dears. Even
I said you don't have anybody at work that will like, come with food for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, my people that's I don't know about you guys. I don't need one person to do that. My people just even NYC that rotate, when they find out that when I'm hungry, my attitude changes. They'll go and buy me snacks. So like it's not
nice.
That was just saying, if you want to work with me.
Last time I had a work husband was like during NYSC. Nigga was so sweet. I used to get me like ice cream and brownies and really nice stuff. Like, what's happening with you, Whitney? What do you need? Are you sure you're okay?
But that's what that guy liked you though.
Yeah, actually.
That guy liked you, wasn't he?
Most likely. He doesn't work out.
He didn't like, and she didn't like him. And she didn't like him back.
In a work husband, work wife situation.
You didn't like him back.
In a work husband, work wife situation, one of them usually will like the other.
That's what I'm saying.
Like other more.
Yeah, but she didn't like that nigga from what she was saying. What you were saying.
I mean, you don't just feel like I appreciated the nigga, right? You appreciate somebody. You don't need to like the person. You appreciate the person.
Oh my God, you're so
Call it appreciate.
You're so sweet.
Oh my God, like any girl will be lucky to have you.
And the girl will be chopping. You should be bringing much out. Nah, this game is
cruel. cool, man. It's cool. I don't forgive.
But work husband, work wife is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like I even have like these colleagues that are getting married at work. I think next month. They fell in love at work, but they were still doing like, oh, my best friend. This one will come to work, buy this one food. After work, they'll say, okay, let's go and watch a movie together. They'll say, oh, this person has not left the office. I cannot leave the office yet. I say,
They were hiding in plain sight.
People fall in love in traffic. Like, you know when they're going back home, you take them back home every day.
No, but that shit, I've
Yeah.
actually
All those
seen some-
combos.
Yeah.
So how your day, like, especially when you work at different departments in the city.
Departments.
So guys, you never believe what happened in my
Yeah, the
Actually,
gist and everything.
actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, work relationships are great.
Yeah.
They're amazing, but
Yeah.
I still advise not to.
Auntie, it's okay. Like,
For you, Vanessa, what's dating been like since you started working?
it's tough, guys. It's really tough. I don't want to say more than that, but I've seen a lot.
Okay. So why is it tough?
Okay, I'd say, like you said, the balance thing was nearly impossible in the beginning, right? So family. So if you're still living at home, and then there's still children at home,
You're the first
and you're the
born.
first, then you're working at a top tier firm as well. You don't really have time for rubbish, and unfortunately, there's a lot of rubbish in streets,
Yeah.
right? So my temper or like my threshold for all of that is
Zero.
about this. You come, I tell you, you have like you just have like 2 months really to impress me, or like I swear to God, what am I doing for longer than 2 months? What am I?
What-
one
like-
month.
Real though. Chidi, how long is talking stage?
1 month.
This one you said jail.
So
How long is talking stage?
So 2 months. 2 months is just so that they can.
That's short though, I feel.
Look, I feel like that's even long enough.
Talking
'cause
stage for
men
2
don't
months
know
is
how to
short.
hide. Men don't know how to hide.
Let me explain it.
I
Yeah.
love a 6-month talking stage.
Fuck
Yes.
that.
January, February, March, April, May, June.
Shall I tell-
rushing.
shall I tell you why?
What?
Shall I tell you why a talking stage for her is different? Because most of the time you're walking, so how many times do you actually text him or see him? Do you guess?
Exactly.
So the 2 months is actually probably like 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So it's like that's very short to impress someone, don't you
Not
think?
even impressed. Just become consistent.
Become
Consistency, you can
consistent.
show
Like,
consistency in 2 months.
In a week, you can show consistency.
My sister in Christ.
Like, it's not difficult to show
No,
consistency.
no.
You call the person when you go,
If it's short, and then
a week is
A
not
week is
short.
short.
look,
You are
a week
still
is-
playing. You are still playing. It's not short.
Guys,
Week is short.
prep time, that weekend will be
2
the best week of your life. Week 2, I
Exactly.
don't know.
Week is not
Exactly.
short.
But
Exactly.
with 2 months, it becomes almost a routine if they allow it.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they can't hide. 1 week excitement is not going to be 2 month excitement.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So you give them that much time to just see. And then if you already know what you want in a relationship, you know your own love languages, you know how you like to be, dealt with, right? It's an easier process, and you spot out patterns. I don't know if everybody knows this, but everyone has patterns.
Yeah.
There's stuff that people do. Clock it once, clock it twice, clock it 3 times. If I clock it 3 times and I make a decision about like, can I handle this moving forward? Now, I'll just come to you, do like a bit of an appraisal, like, see, it's been 2 months now.
Corporate girlies. Oh my god. God,
It's been 2 months and
an
this is not
appraisal
changing.
is crazy, bro.
You get
Hey,
it.
when are
Come
you free? We need to talk. Boom.
Boom.
Guy, do you know something? I don't know about you yet, but every time I've gotten that text, it's always like dead in the AM. So like I wake up at like 5 AM and see the person.
We need to talk.
I'm like,
We need to talk.
You know, wake up with some crazy anxiety, like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm just there, like, you're having for the rest of because you now won't be free to talk to a person until the end
Yep.
of the day.
Yep.
So for the rest of the day, like I'm having an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Like my body is functioning, but like mentally I'm not,
not
present.
functioning.
Think of what you've done and what you've not done.
exactly.
Right?
And thing about Lagos men is that if you leave Lagos men,
Yeah.
their inconsistencies will become consistent.
Literally.
But the thing is, like, because I've heard people complain about texting 9 to 5 babes.
Yeah.
That guys don't text back frequently. So how do you guys maintain those relationships? Because you guys don't text back. Is it like you prefer FaceTime or you prefer seeing them in person?
Voice notes, like I'm doing work, yes, but like you can just say, hey, are you free anytime soon? Can we just have a quick call? Like little things like that. Like I feel like it can't be that deep. If you even send, look, I had one ex that sent me that used to write love letters. Like if he's passing my office,
Oh my God, that's
just
so corny.
drop it off with food, just like attach it to like the food, and and then that's my note of the day.
It was sweet. Or sometimes you just be walking, or you be in need of what they will just text you, sweet or savory.
Do you get
Sweet or savory is
Men
funny.
can be romantic. Sweet or savory. Or babe, you're having a hectic day.
Look.
Can I get you something to eat?
Look.
Wow.
They are men and they are men.
Let me
Oh.
Let me raise you one, right? To spend more time with me. Obviously, I not obviously, but I drive, right?
Okay.
He used to drive too. He'll tell me to stop at his office. He'll park his car and everything, drop his key in case of anything. Drive me to my house so we can talk all the way, and then take a bus or whatever back to his office. Then start going home.
Energy.
For how many months? And that was like
Energy.
Oh my god.
Energy.
Oh my god.
Do you know something?
If they want to,
I feel
they
like-
would.
if they wanted it, they would.
Do you know
Shit.
something? Imagine like that's you guys' routine, right? And one day as you're doing that drive to our house, like you guys fight. So like as you're walking to the bus stop,
Nah, it's cooked.
guys,
Nah.
But idea though.
But no, but like when you think, so I don't know whether, so everyone has different love languages and stuff like that. But stuff like that, if you know, or if somebody is meant for you and they do these things, right? No matter how you fight with that person, the thought of the fact that this person went the extra mile will count, and that whatever anger it is, take it from like 100 to like at least 40.
40, yeah.
Fair enough.
That's why
Okay.
I think a lot of guys don't clock. You do too little and then you guys fight and you expect the babe to look for reasons from heaven.
Like, why you fighting, bro?
Pluck reasons from heaven to forgive you, or look for something back. What am I? What have you done for? What?
Yeah.
Do you know this was going to bring me to my next point, which is like, obviously, how do I put this? You know how you said like, oh, your dad is somewhere that believes like, the woman should just be at home, enjoying life, all of that. I feel, and this is something that my uncles and aunties mention as well, which is like dating or like whatever is so different now than it was then, in terms of back then, man. I feel like as a guy, you were sort of like prepping to make money because that would impress the babe, and now like, okay, cool. Now, but now that babes are making money as well, so like,
As in,
is it just a personality thing strictly now, or like what else? I guess now that playing field is sort of like leveled, catches the eye of a babe, if that makes sense.
okay, so I don't want to say I make money. So that my helper will not stop helping me. I don't make money, but I make money, and my boyfriend makes money too, right?
Yeah.
He makes a little, like, much more money than I do, right? But he doesn't say, oh, she's making money, so she can still do the basic things by herself.
Yeah.
Like, how forced scarcity, all these things has been crazy. You just say, babe, let me buy you let me fill your tank for you.
Damn, love language. That's a low.
That's my love language.
Yeah, to be able.
He just say, let me fill your tank for you. It's not something huge.
Yeah.
But something huge.
That's huge.
Okay.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's almost 1,000 in Nika now.
But like I
Exactly.
said, like people think of romance as just the flowery stuff and like the
It doesn't
really
have to be.
cute
Thank
dates
you.
and all of that. Sometimes the most practical, everyday things.
It's the most simple things.
It's
Or
the most
like,
simple things.
or like you wake up to, I know that you've been going through a lot of things. I know you're stressed, but I want you to know that if you need help, I'm here for you. You don't need to do too much. You don't need to, and you need to do too much.
Yeah,
You need
sometimes.
to do too much.
But you
But
need
you
to
don't
do
need
little
to-
things more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You don't need to do like, you don't need to bring heaven down.
It's like, doesn't need to be the most
Before I know that
grand.
you have money and I love you. Do you understand?
The most grand. And you don't need
But
to
not
wait
all
all the way
women
to-
are like this.
True.
Not all women are like
True.
this. There's
That's
love
also
from
true.
home. I received
Yeah, exactly.
I received a lot of
That's-
I received a lot of love from home.
exactly,
So not all women are like
True.
this. Not all women are like
Shake
this.
it, do
Fair
it,
enough.
that's
True.
I hear that. So, at the end of the day, because I think the last thing I just wanted us to touch on was, we also are in a situation where Japa culture is taking everybody, man. The baddies, everybody, man. So, you guys being in that space where obviously you're seeing people go, stuff like that, what's your take on it?
On Japa.
Just like in terms of, I guess, how do I put it? Because let's look back 30, 40 years ago, right?
Okay.
the career path usually was very stable in terms of you find a corporation, you work your way up. A lot of people in like maybe our parents' generations or whatever, there wasn't really a lot of job movement or whatever. You know, some people left, but most people stayed. Now where it's like you're seeing faces leave, come, go, do you get all of that?
The person that is your
The
guy is leaving
environment
you.
sort of was stable, if that makes sense.
True.
Even like sort of like people I know that employ people, whatever, interview people, also speak about how, you know, with our generation, it's like, oh, even if they're sort of scared to hire someone because you train the person, then maybe like 2-3 years, the person has gone. Like,
but that's the only way they can continue their businesses. You just have to keep trying. If not, you do your work by yourself now. But like I swear.
But you have to also understand, Vanessa, that like it's like I don't know. You build a very good relationship with somebody here. You people are best of friends.
Right.
yeah.
You people call and you people almost see it's like me seeing you at the beach every time from work, and then I wake up and you tell me you're leaving, you're going abroad for masters.
Painful.
Like,
but like, are you talking about in employee relationships, or just even as friends?
Even as friends,
it's
man.
I don't know.
I'm just talking
for
about,
me,
like,
it's very painful.
Obviously, you
it's very
cultivate
sad.
relationships at work, and you know, seeing people go, all of that.
It's taking so much away from our generation, to be honest. Relationships, friendships, families, it's taking too much away. Things that, you know, you could have just easily have been a part of are just vanish.
Or like sometimes somebody will say, oh, if I want to do my wedding now, how many people will come? Really? Yeah. Because like, how many people really are in the country?
And you won't start, you're not going to foot their flight bills or any no, you're not going to do all of that.
But with this one that government did yesterday, best believe I'm out of here very soon. Very soon, I'm out of here. I can't stay here for too long again. Well, it's not how much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm leaving here very soon.
It's mad.
They shouldn't be upset, to be honest. A lot of our people above us enjoyed Nigeria when there was a Nigeria to enjoy.
Exactly.
We came in and it's been shaky. It's been rubbish.
Exactly.
Worse and worse every single year. They can't blame us. At least they enjoyed it. These guys used to go cross state for parties.
Yeah.
Now, to even go cross state because of something important, you're like, God, please, I deliver my heart, my life into your hands.
Insecurity, things.
They used to go and party as in Imo State to Anambra.
Have you seen all
this
these
one
memes
to this one?
that it reach my turn to be rich auntie or rich uncle? Things don't default.
Dog.
Guy. I remember back then you could like with 20 naira you could get like caprisone and biscuits for a kid. Guy.
Now to even remove your hand, like even as kids now, they're barely even getting money from their uncles and aunties. They're not getting that shit. Even at weddings now, they even sometimes have to ask the parents like, "Say these children will not break up the marriage in like next 6 months. If I bring out this money and cough it out for this wedding, and your children end this marriage."
Guy, imagine you've just finished like footing a bill for the wedding, and like a year after the couple
they're telling you must be
guy, you have to work it out. I'm sorry.
You must work it out though.
You must. You must.
Who and who are breaking up?
No, but things are really getting difficult. Things are getting so difficult every single day. Like you see the rich people getting poor.
And
you see the poor people
are more desperate.
I'm
desperate. Like you're seeing good people do bad things that they really don't even want to do, but now that's the only choice. That's the only choice out there.
It's crazy.
But just my last question to you guys, because I think there will be people listening that are trying to enter the corporate world, or maybe they're in the corporate world, they're looking for advice. So what would you advise like young girls and boys or people that are already in corporate, what would you advise them? What advice would you give them to be successful like you guys, or even be more successful? What would you tell them? It can be like a...
So 2 things. One, whatever you're doing, do it with all your heart. Do it with all your mind. Like, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, but do everything you can do to excel. Because if you don't, eventually you're going to regret it, right? You'll be thinking, I could have done better to get the bag, right? And at the same time, if you want to cry, the second one is cry. It's okay not to be okay, really. If you are sad, if you want to go MIA for a minute, go MIA. Like, prioritize yourself, prioritize your mental health, take care of yourself. You need to do that. Really.
I'd say don't lose yourself. Because especially if you worked on yourself and what you have to offer to the world is more than your role. Work on yourself. Be a good person at the baseline of it, because low-key, what you find out is that some people are not even the smartest, but they're getting the most opportunities because personality. They're the ones that the client is looking for all the time. Meanwhile, this person is probably a novice at this thing or something like that. They want to talk to you because they find you most relatable and all of that. Bring your personality, if it's a good, work on your personality to be good enough for clients. It will do way more, it will do a lot for you, not way more than work, but to do a lot. Which is why you see in like some firms and all of that, you have partners that bring in work, and then you have partners that do the work. You have, do you get what I'm saying? And then guess who's enjoying life more?
The ones that bring in work.
And guess what? They cannot, for anything, they can't make them leave, because how will the firm stand? You can do the work, great, but if you don't have work to do, right? So work on your business development skills, work on putting yourself out there, even if you're very shy and scared, right? If they give you an opportunity to make yourself known for good, take it, adapt, learn, all of that stuff. And what else did I say? Also prioritize having a life outside of work, because the day chips are down and stuff like that, you would need your friends or family or whatever support system you have outside to hold you. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Thank
you guys for coming on the pod. I think that was very enjoyable. And to everybody watching this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, drop us comments, give us suggestions, let us know who you'd like to see on the pod. But it's been a pleasure, Whitney, Vanessa. Till next time.
All right.
Take care.